Hello, welcome to the MuseScore Cafe for today, September. Oh, I should always look up the date. It's the 26th. So I'm online now. So hopefully I'm online right now. This question just came up. Oh, there it is. Okay, now there we go. Hopefully I'm online. Okay, so again, welcome. It's September 26th. 2018. Welcome to the MuseScore Cafe. My name is Marc Sabatella. I'm the Director of Education for MuseScore. And today I'm here, you'll have to pardon to do a bit of a commercial announcement for the online course that I've developed. Now, as always, I'm also perfectly happy to answer questions that people have about MuseScore, about music. So, let's have fun. Let's not just have a commercial. Anyhow, this online course is something I've been working on. Let me just give you a little background. I wrote the book, Mastering MuseScore, back as we were getting ready to release MuseScore 2. This is back in 2015 that we released it. So I started the book in 2014, really. And I wrote it at the kind of request of the MuseScore team, Thomas and Werner and Nicola. And we sort of collaborated on making this a joint project where I basically did most of the writing, but we kind of, just agreed on how things would go. And I enjoyed doing that, and it's been available as a book. It's also available as a Kindle edition. And recently, I've decided to try to work on making MuseScore training, MuseScore education be kind of a career for me. And the first project that we decided would be best way to do this would be to develop this online course. So what I've done is I have taken the material in the book. So let me again hold up the book. Not that it's necessarily showing big enough for you to see, but the book has a ton of information in it on really virtually everything there is in MuseScore. And I spent a lot of time not just developing the material, but really figuring out the organization of the book. I also, it's available in a Kindle version, and so it's a little easier for me to demonstrate with the Kindle version. The Kindle version is literally the exact same text, just as a Kindle version. And so like here's the time signature chapter where I explain how to do time signatures with pictures and so forth. And this is all well and good, and a lot of people love having a printed manual. People love having a Kindle version so they can see things electronically without needing a big piece of paper. But we've definitely realized that a lot of people love learning from video. I know I certainly enjoy learning things that way. And so what I have now done over the course of the past year is taken basically the same material and made it available in this online course that's all video based. So if you look at, again, the Kindle version and look at the list of chapters, you'll see that they all kind of work out about the same way. And there's a finding your way around, first score, entering notes and rests, etc., navigation, making selections, and these are the same things that we have in my course: entering notes and rests, editing, and that includes navigation. The specific way I've organized it is slightly different just because the video format's a little different than a book format, and I wanted to make it so that there would be these individual little lessons that would be 5 to 10 minutes a piece. I mean, some of them are shorter than that, some of them are longer, but like this one here on entering multiple voices is just a little over 3 minutes. But then there's another longer one on editing with multiple voices, and a lot of the lessons have both individual topics on the basics as well as a separate lesson on customization available. So anyhow, this is a very, very thorough course. I mean, it is over 9 hours of video in all. Not that you have to sit and watch it all in order, because it is all set up in these individual little lessons. But for instance, let's check out a little bit of one of the lessons here, just so you can get a sense of what it might be like. turn on the sound on the computer. So
multi-measure rests.
That's me.
Multi-measure rests are a type of notation used in ensemble music so that if any given part has more than one measure in a row of rests,
and so on. It's, as you saw, this was a few minutes long. Oh, notice I've got the cursor highlighted in yellow, and as soon as I click, I should stop it.
If you enter your music into a score like I have here, then when you generate some clarinet music or something, close the inspector here to give yourself a little more room.
There you go. You saw when I clicked, it said click. So anyhow, I have it set up so that you can easily follow along what's happening in these lessons, and they're designed to be short and easily digestible, and then more advanced material in the customization. Like if you're learning about key signatures, probably you just want to learn how to use the basic key signatures. You don't really care about the advanced features like creating custom key signatures. So I put that into a separate lesson. Also, some of the other customizations that are available as far as how courtesy key signatures work. I mean, the defaults work normally just fine. And so I start off just giving you that basic information. But again, if you want to get more into customization, you can. For some of them, I forget if this is one. Yeah, I might even provide separate videos so that you might only care about customizing the main key signatures, like how courtesy key signatures work, and you don't really care about creating custom key signatures like the one I show here. So I separated that out into a separate video. So anyhow, it is very, very thorough. But it's also set up that you can very easily skip the lessons that are not as interesting to you. So anyhow, that is this complete online course, and if you go to the website here, let me make sure that that's there in the chat where the actual course is. There we go. So that's the actual course. When you click there, you get the sales spiel, and what I was showing you was what it looks like once you're already enrolled, and it keeps track of your progress through the course. There's also an area for discussion. Since the course is just open, there's no discussion yet. So I only opened the course a couple days ago. We've got like 20 students signed up already, but there's a few comments on a few lessons, but mostly this is something that will be growing over time. But it's like a place where you can ask questions about the lessons, and I have discussion areas on each section of the course. So basically each chapter of the book is more or less how that works. So that you can ask questions, answer each other's questions is a great way to kind of, I learn a lot by teaching. So if you know the answer to something or kind of know the answer, you by helping other people, it helps your own knowledge. And I plan to be participating in these discussions. I plan to check in daily and make sure there's no unanswered questions going on, and I will answer what I can and kind of spark discussion as necessary. So that's the basic gist of the course. I also plan to be adding to it over time, and that's the nice thing about the course over the book is that, excuse me, I can add to it over time. Like I plan to add exercises and so forth so that you can do that. Get practice on, specific, like I'll give you a score and say, here, take this score as it is now and make it look like this score using the techniques that you just learned in this section. So I plan to be adding those sort of exercises, additional sort of practical demonstrations that are, not feature oriented, but more task oriented. Like, hey, let me just do a demonstration where I generate parts from a score and pretty them up like I did for one of these cafes a little while ago. I might, add things like that to the course. So that's the basic idea of this course. As I've mentioned in telling you about this cafe, anyone who's watching this live, I would love to be able to offer someone a free enrollment in the course. So right here in the chat is the link to click, and if I've done it correctly, you click there, you'll be taken to a form. If I do it, I think I'll see the edit for the form, or I'll see you guys' info, which you don't want to see, or I don't want you to see. But if you click that, it should take you just to a form where you just basically say, yes, I am entering this, and I will pick someone at random at the end of this to enroll for free, and that is my plan there. So what else can I tell you? The course is available in a few different formats. The main format that I'm offering, that I'm expecting people to be interested in, is a sort of a lifetime access. You sign up for the course, it's $25, which is less than the price of the book, which is just fantastic, because it's really at least as much information for less cost. You can also do an annual subscription, and a couple people have taken advantage of that option. I will tell you, the main reason I added that option, though, is I am really interested in getting schools interested in this course. So if you are a student at a school or a faculty member at a school, talk to me. In addition to the, actually, let me see, can I click this? Yes. In addition to just signing up individually for the course, I am offering what I'm calling an educational partnership, which eventually is going to entail more than just this, but the main aspect of the educational partnership right now is that you can sign up your entire school for one price. So if you're a small school or just maybe one class, or a teacher with a studio where you teach a dozen students or whatever, for one price, you can enroll up to 20 students in the course. Or for a somewhat larger school, you could enroll up to 100 students. Or for like where I got my master's and taught for a number of years, University of Denver, this is a school with over 300 students. So and there's other schools I've worked at that are even larger still. So we have options to sponsor more enrollments. So, I mean, at that level, you can see the price is like less than $1 per student. So I'm very interested in getting schools to use this course, because the idea is, I know when I teach music theory, my students are using MuseScore, and of course, being the director of education for MuseScore, I'm often teaching them MuseScore in the classes that I teach, and other theory teachers, other composition teachers end up having to do the same, or they contact me to come in and do a workshop, which I've done several of around the area, but I can't be going everywhere around the world doing workshops for everyone's theory classes. I would love to do that, and will do as many as I can, but most of the people teaching theory classes or composition classes or music tech classes, they're not necessarily MuseScore experts, and they'd rather spend their time teaching other aspects of music theory or composition or music technology. So the idea is, I would love it if teachers or schools would sign up to become educational partners, and then all of your students would be able to access this online course and learn MuseScore basically for free, and learn it like really well, have this video course available. So that is what I have been doing with most of my time for the last year, is planning it. I mean, the actual video, as I said, it's like 9 hours of video. It's not like it takes a year to record 9 hours of video, but there's like the old, well, it's kind of a joke. How long does it take you to get to Carnegie Hall? Well, it takes you 10 minutes to get there, but it takes you a lifetime to practice to get to the point. Anyhow, that's a paraphrasing of the joke to make it relevant to the situation. So the idea is, it took really a long time to develop this course, to really plan out how it was going to work, how it was going to structure, set up all the website stuff that needs to happen to make it work. I should mention also that the course is offered through a site called Teachable, and if you've ever used Teachable for other courses, you'll recognize the format of the course as far as how the the panel here works, where you can jump to specific lessons and all that. But there's also an app. Teachable has an iPhone or iOS app. I think it works on iPad too. I haven't actually tried that. But the iOS app lets you access the lessons on your phone, which might seem like, oh, sorry, the light in this room is on a timer, and so I have to like stand up and wave my hands around, or I just sit here in the dark, which is apparently what I'm going to do. So anyhow, the phone app lets you access the video lessons through your phone, which could be a kind of convenient thing. So then you can have MuseScore running on your computer while watching the video on your phone, rather than having to have separate windows on your computer. So that could be a useful way of doing things. I don't think they have an Android app, but of course you could just access it via web browser on your Android phone just as easily. So again, if you're interested in learning more about MuseScore, I mean, I really, really cannot recommend this course highly enough, and not just because I developed it. It really is incredibly thorough. Before I even started on the course, I checked to see what else is out there, and there are a couple of other courses out there. And at least one of them looks pretty good, but it's not as in depth, and it's got like a couple hours of video. I really wanted to really provide the option to go really in depth, so you could really master MuseScore. And since I have the book and that structure in place and the material in place, I thought the best way to organize it would be to basically present it in largely the same way. And so a lot of the chapter titles are reflected in the titles here, so that if you want more information on page navigation, all you have to do is go to the index in the book or the table of contents and find the section on page navigation, and you'll get more information on that topic. So it's really designed to get you to an expert level with MuseScore. Ultimately, I want to be able to offer certification and let you take some tests to say, hey, I really am an expert in MuseScore, and that would enable people to go out and say, hey, I'm really qualified to be an expert engraver, and offer your services as an engraver, a music engraver, or to teach workshops. I mean, I'm going to be teaching workshops, have been teaching workshops. Anyone interested in having me teach workshops, contact me, marc@musescore.com, Marc with a C. Anyhow, I want to be teaching workshops more and more, but I also want there to be more workshops than I can possibly teach. So I would love it to have other people teaching more MuseScore workshops, and I want to support you in being able to do that, get you access to the teaching materials that I use, and make sure that you know everything you need to know to be an effective teacher. And so offering a certification service is something else that I have in mind for what I want to be doing. So yeah, as I said, this particular cafe is a bit of a commercial for my course, and that's what it is. Let's. I'm not comfortable doing commercials, as you might be seeing here. I can talk. I can tell you why I'm excited about the course, but I don't like being a commercial. I like providing people information. Ooh, did my video stop? Let me just make sure I'm still online here. Am I still online? Yes, I am. Okay, sorry. I had a moment of unsureness there. Because what I'm looking at on my phone doesn't resemble, I must have paused my phone accidentally, probably when I switched tabs. Okay, so I want to talk about something else other than my course for a minute. And then I'll come back, and if you've already done the thing, again, let me just go to the chat here. Make sure that you click the link here, enter the form for the chance at the free enrollment, and I will go ahead and choose the winner when I'm done. What time is it now? It is, according to this, 10:51. I'll blather on for a few more minutes, and then I'll leave the chat open, and then at the top of the hour is when I will make the drawing. So I said I wanted to just talk about something. If anyone wants to throw me a random topic before I pick one, you've got a few seconds to just type away. Meanwhile, I want to think. Next week, I want to talk about music. Sometimes I talk about MuseScore itself, the software. Sometimes I talk about myself. Sometimes I talk about methods of learning MuseScore. What I want to talk about is music next week. I talk about it every once in a while, and I've alluded to the idea of counterpoint as one of the things that I teach. A couple weeks ago I talked about chord symbols, and let me, while I'm thinking of it, I'm going to go to MuseScore.com and just here in the chat remind anyone who was paying attention when I talked about chord symbol playback, and I kind of worked out a kind of a scheme. You can see how often I actually come here. I mentioned a scheme for developing playback. So I actually put a lot of work into this cheat sheet where I took for each chord, like for C, I have, as you can see, I don't know how many this is, it's probably like 20 different chords, from simple triads to basic seventh chords to more jazz-oriented voicings of all these chords. That you can basically, the idea is, well, there's C, move on to the next page, there's C sharp, there's D, and I've not just transposed them, but kind of revoiced them so they stay centered around middle C, as I mentioned, is really kind of important to get a good sound, at least on, well, most instruments, piano especially. So anyhow, you could copy and paste either the half note version or the arpeggio version. For the jazz voicing, there's a half note version and there's a syncopated version that you can basically copy and paste into your score to get playback of the chord symbol. So let me take this score and paste into the chat here for anyone who was I think I put the link in the original video as well. Anyhow, so that's when I talked about music just a few weeks ago. I talked about music, but it was as much talking about MuseScore. I want to talk about counterpoint and this like little passion I have for writing fugues. But counterpoint isn't just about fugues. So next week, that's probably going to be my topic, is going to be talking about counterpoint. So anyhow, that is what I have to say. And again, I would love to see some people taking advantage of this course, because it's, I mean, it's really, really thorough. If you already have a copy of my book, you can probably get a little more out of the course as well by seeing the demonstrations. If you don't have a copy of the book, you're welcome to still buy a copy of the book. But I think the course is really kind of like the way of the future here. Like when MuseScore 3 comes out, I talked about that last week. You know, it's still a ways out. That alpha release was just sort of a preview of where things stand. But as you can see, if you were watching or if you tried it yourself, there's still quite a bit of work to go before it's ready for release, months of work. When MuseScore 3 comes out, I want to update this course for sure. I'll update the book too, but my priority, the way it feels right now, you know, time will tell, but the way it feels right now is the course is where things will be going, because it just feels like that's where the majority of people using MuseScore like to get information. That's just based on, you know, what we've learned about demographics and so forth. But you know, we'll kind of see as we go. But yeah, I really hope. I mean, this course is already just full of information. But as I start adding more stuff to it, the exercises and certification, I just really expect this just to be just the absolute ultimate possible way of learning MuseScore. So all that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off as far as talking here, because I don't see any additional questions or anything. Again, if you have some, now's your chance. Questions about the course, but questions about anything. I like talking about anything. What I will do is sign off as far as the live video, so I can go off and do my little check of who's signed up for a chance to win, and then I will go ahead and do the drawing, and then I will just come back to the chat and post the winner there, or contact you offline. Let's put it that way. So that all said, I hope that you also maybe consider sharing this course with your friends, even if it's something that maybe you already have the book, you're not that interested in. I would love it if you could just share this link with people, let them know about this course, let them know that there is really this amazingly high quality, in my opinion, way of learning MuseScore that can really just teach you, I mean, like everything there is to know about MuseScore. I mean, I feel like I'm one of the world's experts on using MuseScore, and I took virtually everything I know and put it into this course. So, which is why there's 9 hours of video there, but all broken down into these little short lessons, 3 minutes there, 5 minutes here, right? I mean, it's all very manageable. So again, I'm really excited to have this available and really hope to get some of you guys interested in the course and sharing the information with others. So I keep saying I'm going to sign off. Now I think I really will, and I will be back in the chat in a couple of minutes with the name of the winner. See you next week.